Hello everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the weekly report. Afghanistan, a tragically stupid war comes to a tragic end. Sunday's news reports that the Biden administration mistakenly killed 10 members of one Afghan family, including 7 children, in retaliation for last week's suicide attack, which killed 13 U.S. service members, is a sad and sick epitaph of the 20-year Afghanistan war. Promising to get tough on ISIS, which suddenly reemerged to take responsibility for the suicide attack, the most expensive military and intelligence apparatus on earth appears to have gotten it wrong again. Interventionists love to pretend they care about girls and women in Afghanistan, but it is in reality a desperate attempt to continue the 20-year U.S. occupation. If we leave, they say, girls and women will be discriminated against by the Taliban. It's hard to imagine a discrimination worse than being incarcerated by a drone strike. But these collateral damage attacks over the past 20 years have killed a score of civilians, just like today. That's the worst part of this whole terrible war. Day after day for 20 years, civilians were killed because of the noble effort to remake Afghanistan in the image of the United States. But the media and the warmongers who call the shots in the government and the private military-industrial sector could not have cared less. Who recalls a single report on how many civilians were just collateral damage in the futile U.S. war? Sadly, these children killed on Sunday, 2 of them reportedly just 2 years old, have been the ones forced to pay the price for a failed and bloody U.S. foreign policy. Yes, the whole exit from Afghanistan has been a debacle. Biden, but especially his military planners and incompetent advisors, deserves much of what has been piled onto him this past week or so about this incompetence. Maybe if Biden's Secretary of Defense and Joint Chiefs, the chairman, had spent a bit more time planning the Afghan exit and a lot less time obsessing on how to turn the U.S. military into a laboratory for cultural Marxism, we might have actually had a workable plan. We know that actual experts like Colonel Douglas Macgregor did have a plan to get out that would have spared innocent lives. But because this decorated U.S. Army veteran was tainted by his service in the previous administration, service that was solely focused on how to get out of Afghanistan safely, he would not be consulted by the Pentagon's woke top military brass. Trump also should share some of the blame currently being showered on Biden. He wanted to get out years ago, but never had the courage to stand up to the also incompetent generals and experts he foolishly hired to advise him. Similarly, many conservatives, especially neoconservatives, are desperate to attack Biden, not for how he got us out of Afghanistan, but for the fact that he is getting us out of Afghanistan. That tells you all you need to know about how profitable war is to the warmongers. I've always said, we just marched in, we can just march out. And I stand by that view. Yes, you can just march out of these idiotic interventions, but you do need a map. Thanks for listening.